Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Who's that kid? Nick. He looks like Beaker from Muppets.
The one on FS1, Nick Wright.
Yep. Yeah. I got something.
That's amazing.
I
did not even. I love that.
If I get 5 women and they're all in the same room with me, we're going at it at 110%.
What's going on, everybody? It's Niche Night. It's Tuesday. We're back at our regularly scheduled night. This is the Lazy Booking Podcast on A2D Radio. I'm Chrome, joined as always by my buddy, my pal, my tag team partner, Eric Archer. What's up, my guy?
What's going on? Glad we get to talk about something besides the dreadful Eagles. Been a rough couple of days, so good to get our minds off of that and talk a little wrestling, you know?
Don't even bring it up.
Bring what up?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, we're back with you. We're happy to join you guys after a special night last week. And we apologize for the delay. We were having a lot of audio issues.
We felt like when Punk got his mic cut off, MJF. Like
I didn't get
it. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
For some reason, my mic that I use every week decided it was going to light up and everything was going to look pretty, but it just wasn't going to work. And you know what I did to fix it, guys? I just unplugged it and replugged it in for 15 straight minutes, and then it worked. I didn't change anything. Anyway, happy to be with you guys. We got a lot to talk about. Big week in WWE, a very eventful, controversial, surprising week, to say the least. And honestly, it started back the last Tuesday, and we're going to dive into all those things. But first and foremost, a little bit of love to our sponsor, Dr. Paul Vidal, and his award-winning crew over there at Specialized Physical Therapy with physical locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Any aches, pains, brand new, long-lasting, doesn't matter.
No.
Hit up that award-winning team. They'll take a gander at you. They'll analyze, assess, and they'll get you guys on a program to get you back to your physical peak.
SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com.
Yeah. Listen, the week started off hot last week. We'll talk about NXT's ending last week. We're kind of like the preview going into, even though we don't really talk too much NXT, but we are kind of like a lead into NXT. We're going to talk about the conclusion of NXT last week regarding Leon Slater, Oba Femi, and what happened after that match. We're also going to talk about 2 really big things that happened on Monday Night Raw. One in the main event, one midway through the show. That it seems like we're going to get to somewhere in that storytelling. But first and foremost, I know it's a few days past. We got big things happening over on SmackDown. It's something that we've talked about quite a bit, where we had a title change. Cody Rhodes dropping the title due to a returning Jacob Fatu attack on both Drew and Cody, which leaves things very interesting. In the 3 stages of hell to set up Drew falling out of the cage and winning in the 3rd decision. We're going to talk about that. But with the controversial ending between Gunther and AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw, with Bron Breakker indefinitely suspended, we'll talk about it. And obviously with Oba Femi and his situation, with all the controversy, with all the issues, Eric, that we have talked about over the last few weeks, with all the questionable decisions for booking and creative, we're going to kick this off, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy here on A2D Radio and Lazy Booking Podcast, making this statement. With the events over the past week, WWE has succeeded in increasing interest in their weekly creative or product. You agree or disagree, wherever you guys are at, Facebook, Instagram, I don't think that's the thing anymore. Sorry. Facebook, YouTube, and X, Twitter. Get in there, like, subscribe. Most importantly, guys, join the conversation. Give us a follow. Give us your feedback. And we want to hear what you have to say about all of these topics that you're going to see rolling across that bottom screen there. Eric, what are your thoughts on this one, buddy?
Man, a lot of stuff happened the last few days, huh?
5-minute intro to the show. I mean, damn.
Yeah. I mean, and you and I talked about what were we going to talk about? And there's really what was going to be our opening topic. And there's definitely those things that you just talked about could have easily been a weekly topic any week that we've been on. So to have those multiple topics all lined up, I think this was the right move. As far as increasing interest, sure. I agree. I mean, the thing that you can say about WWE, especially in 2025, is kind of the same cookie cutter, unpredictable or non-predictable type of storytelling and storylines. And these really were surprising, especially the Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre title switch. It really changes a lot of the thinking that we had thought about going into WrestleMania or even as soon as the Royal Rumble, because now you have multiple people that are teasing that they want a shot at the WWE title. And now now that Drew's the champion, it kind of changes. It doesn't change the opponents, but it changes the storytelling that they can definitely throw in there. So I think I agree to this poll, but I still think that maybe there needs to be continuation of this interest, and I would challenge WWE to continue this and not just throw together a show and be okay with 2 or even 3 hours on SmackDown where it's kind of the same old shtick. But a very good week. I will give them credit. Let's just see more of it.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. To me, it's I put it on a T for us this week. Of course, we're going to agree because it's anything that anybody's talking about right now, right? It started on Tuesday with Oba Femi walking away from the NXT title. Now we know what that means. We briefly discussed it last week, so we're not going to dive too much into that per se and how it happened, as opposed to what are we foreseeing now? How are we feeling about that a week later? So that'll be later in the show. But that's where we started, knowing that this monster's coming. Monster. What's Booker T calls him? That monster. And then we go in and Friday night. Well, really, listen, I mean, for all intents and purposes, and we're culprits for it, but we normally don't do this, but the whole rest of the world did. So we threw the spoilers out there, right? Because it was a pre-taped show on SmackDown. So finding out that Drew McIntyre won the the WWE Undisputed title from Cody Rhodes was shocking. And then to kind of see the details as they were dropped through, it was not something I think we saw coming. We've talked for months and months and months about how poorly Drew has been booked. And I do have one small critique, although I'm happy with the result, and I'll get into it in a minute when we dive into this. But we just didn't see it coming. Not yet. I mean, we talked about coming out of Saturday night's main event, right? I thought we might get something, and maybe we still do, between Drew and Oba Femi, where we talked a couple weeks ago about a moment in the Rumble. So I don't think we really foresaw this coming. We just didn't see Cody not being the champion going into Mania, which will be interesting because now Cody's open now. And that's going to be so interesting to see what's going to happen with him in the Mania run.
Chrome, my bold prediction lasted a whopping 9 days.
9 days. 9 days.
Congrats to me. 9 days, baby.
Yeah, baby.
9 days. I'll say this. I think, if you look online, you kind of see where people are thinking where this Drew McIntyre title run goes. And I hope to God that this is not a transitional situation for Drew McIntyre. This guy deserves to be champion, and he deserves to have at least a few months with the title. And I mean, that's pretty easy. And going into WrestleMania as the WWE champion, I'd be all for it. I'd be all right with a rematch with Cody. I'd be all right with another challenger. Like you said, Oba Femi. I mean, the sky is you got a lot of different challengers, a lot of different options. And I think this opens up the door for a different direction. And it looks like there were reports as early as today that if you listen to the Wrestling Observer, that it looks like WrestleMania plans have changed, specifically with Cody and I mean, I got to bring Bronxy will come in here,
bro. Ramona Reigns right now, who would just
yes,
real talk, everybody. That is her name. She is Ramona Reigns. She's named after Roman Reigns.
Acknowledge her.
I named her Ramona Reigns back when the Shield first came out and they were popular.
Your mic's out
again.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's moving.
No. So I think this really puts a lot of different options here on the table. Like I was saying, I still can't hear you. Okay. But I mean, there's definitely talk that WrestleMania, the plan was a Cody Roman 3 at WrestleMania, but somewhere along the way, and you have to look at you have to look into where WWE says that they don't listen to the audience. They don't listen online, but I mean, everything that they've done over the last week or so says otherwise, where there's been a title change. And I mean, I definitely didn't see it coming due to, my bold prediction a few weeks ago where I didn't think Cody was losing the title anytime soon. So, I mean, it's kind of.
You still can't hear me?
Nope.
I don't think it's me then. I think it's you, buddy.
I cut his mic. Sorry, guys. I've had enough of his talk. This is my turn. It's my turn now, baby. But, yeah, I think they did a really nice job over the last week of, spicing it up a little bit and putting some intrigue, because I think it's very easy to watch Raw and SmackDown and kind of fast forward through it because you kind of know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, we have to watch it for the show, but I mean, there's a lot of this product that's kind of just very predictable. It's but now I'm looking forward to seeing what Drew McIntyre does over the next couple of weeks, especially with the WWE title. So we shall see. Chrome stepped out here for a second. So it's just me, baby. So I think it also puts a and we could talk about the other stuff too. I mean, Oba Femi dropping the NXT title. We kind of knew.
Can you hear me now?
Who's coming up to the big roster? I still can't hear you, brother. All right. But with Oba Femi, it's kind of just the question of what brand is he going to go to? Is he going to go to Raw or SmackDown? And I think Drew would be the perfect complement there, but going to be intriguing what happens tonight, as we are the lead-in, as Chrome said. We're going to be seeing what the plan is for NXT as far as the NXT title is concerned. And I'm sure Ricky Saints and a few others will be vying for that spot in one way or another. Maybe a tournament, maybe a battle royal. We'll see what happens. And then we had Bron Breakker last night. That whole situation where he puts his hands on Adam Pearce, but it appears, per further review by Judge or lawyer Paul Heyman, he says, I'm going to tell you that you made a big mistake because you put your hands on him first. So I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that it's going to be something to the effect of he's going to owe him something. And I think that's where he gets back, gets a rematch again for the world title with Punk somewhere down the road. So we shall see what happens.
He can hear me. No.
You're out.
Keep going.
His apologies for the technical difficulties. We're going to keep going here. But yeah, I'd like to definitely see what happens here over the next few weeks. It's definitely been intriguing over the last few days. So we'll see what happens on SmackDown. One thing I will say, Krem brought up the spoiler stuff. Man, everybody and their mom definitely trying to get a leg up on these. Oh, wow. Stand by 1 second. We'll be right back.
All right, I'm going to take over here. If you guys can hear me, comment in. This has been, I don't know what's going on. This is the craziest episode we've ever had. We've never had audio issues like this. 1 minute, my mic's not working. Now his headset's, it might be his headset because people are telling me that they can hear me. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so real quick, before while he figures that out, let me go back in here and finish what I was saying. Monday Night Raw, we have everything that we had going on in terms of AJ Styles, in terms of Gunther. And not that the conclusion or the result was shocking, but in the creative that they took to get there. And they went down the road of Gunther taps, but he's smart and he gets out of it. Knowing the referee can't see it, gets him to release the hold, hits him with a low blow, right? And then obviously we have the Bron Breakker situation as well. So, this is the situation that we're in right now. It's an interesting situation that WWE has now. And when we talk about the creative process that's been called into question over and over and over again as of late, I think it's really important that WWE had a week like this, because you're not just drawing eyes to one show, which I think has been an issue quite a bit. If Raw's running hot, SmackDown tends to be kind of flailing, and vice versa, right? NXT generally does a pretty solid job. So I felt like I had to lay this on a tee, but it was important to discuss all of this because of how hot the discussion was over the past couple of weeks in terms of how bad the booking has been. I mean, we sat here with Vince Russo for 2 straight weeks around when John Cena's retirement came up. And we discussed, what kind of booking is this? Are we booking for a professional wrestling show? Are we booking for a wide audience? Are we hotshot booking just to get oh shit moments, which I do think we saw at some points. But it does seem like it's done enough this week to draw an interest, right? Because you come in, we talked last week, me and Eric, about Bron Breakker. Is Bron Breakker going to be able to, what's he going to do when he comes out of this? And now you have this whole, I guess it buys you some time, right? I think they need to get a little bit of time to separate him from this loss to CM Punk. And it does buy you a little bit of time to get you to where you need to be. And then you can bring him back a few weeks from now, because I imagine this quote unquote indefinite suspension won't last, because they bring up the intrigue and add in the part that Adam Pearce technically did grab Braun after Braun came in and attacked Dragon Lee and attacked Penta and participated with the Vision. And Pearce came out and said, hey, I'm done with this. He technically put his hands on Braun first. Now, it's weird, wrestling storylines are goofy to me. It's like every week people attack people. So, why is this week any different? And why are we just suspending them now for doing the same thing they've done for weeks after week after week after week after week? It's kind of that liberties that they take in the exact moment when do they need to call on something like that. But it's an interesting situation for them to be in. And I do think that this is done enough with Royal Rumble just over or just under 3 weeks away to create an opportunity for that. And I have to say, myself and Eric plan to do a 1:00 show today. And we were hoping to have a guest who we are still hoping to have, but unfortunately, scheduling conflicts ended up postponing that guest to be on. But I'm actually kind of, in terms of the product of what we needed to talk about this week, to forego that when honestly the guest will be just as fitting to bring back in a couple of weeks, I think was the right move, because Really important week for WWE. I still hate that we got AJ Styles and Gunther early. I don't think we needed this match at this point, but here we are. We got it. Here's my knock on the Drew McIntyre situation. And I hope if Eric's listening and he can get back on, he will go over this situation with me. But when I'm talking critique, I have an issue with I don't like that Drew McIntyre has lost over and over and over and over. Particularly to Cody, over and over, and he's just handed championship matches. And I'm not saying I don't think he's a world champion, because he 1,000% is. I think that they have not done justice to put him in a position to be where he is right now. But I do suspend belief on things, but I also fall into the issue where there's just some common sense thing I just have a hard time with. And this is kind of maybe it's a summation of the Cody run. I love Cody. Everybody knows it. I've been a Cody guy since the day he walked in the door. I thought when he was Stardust, I was 100% want to walk out, go make your name somewhere else. He did that. Love the AEW run. I will always be an advocate for Cody Rhodes. It's a different world now. Some people now, they build you up to knock you down. I'm not going to do that. I know the effort this man put in. That being said, this run has been rough. There's been, and I know Eric has talked about it too, there's been no accountability on anything. You there, bud? Can you hear me? Still can't hear me? Did you listen? Okay. We'll let him figure that out. There we go. Make it a little prettier, guys. I feel like I'm right in your face. There has been no adversity, and myself and Eric have talked about this constantly. I think the one thing that he mentioned in his anecdotes with Arch, which we drop typically 1, 2, maybe 3 a week. I think we still got a couple that we're going to be putting out this week. And he puts out some really great stuff, guys. So please get on there, and he interacts with you on the social media pages when you do comment in. The adversity, the excitement that Cody has for him to have some adversity. And my end is, for the first time in a long time, and the story was epic. It was beautifully told in the way that it was. There was, even when you had questions coming out of WrestleMania 39, I felt like when they got to the conclusion of the story and the road to get there was beautifully told. But that run kind of like it kind of encompassed the runs, the booking issues that we have seen. There have been great matches, but I mean, Kevin Owens, that feud was tremendous. But with great matches has also become tons of repetition. There is just not enough names at the top of the main event on SmackDown, where he's primarily been, or even when he's been on Raw. And that's a fundamental issue with WWE's creative that needs to be rectified. And I believe when you look at some of the exciting names starting to come into the picture, like an Oba Femi, I think that we might get a shift. I would love to see an Austin Theory build this character for another 6 to 8 months. And maybe this time next year when we come up to the Royal Rumble, we're talking about him as a possibility of being somebody that could be a possible winner and challenge for a title. How is it now? Can you hear me now? All right, still not working. So, okay. I'm going to keep going here. So I think that the adversity aspect is good here. How we doing, bud? Can you hear me now? Thank you guys for hanging in with us. All right, I'm going to keep going here. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. It has been the weirdest day. I don't know why this is happening. We've never had. I've been doing this show for 10 years and I never had this issue. 10 years.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm glad you can hear me now. Sorry about that, everybody.
I was able to hear you the whole time, bud. You couldn't hear me.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. I don't know. It's the headphones, for whatever reason, just they decided to tap out, and here I am. Yeah, I couldn't hear you at all. We're back. Yay. Sorry about that.
That's all good. Were you following with what I was saying there? That you could jump into the conversation or no?
You're talking about the adversity with
yes,
Cody,
which you brought up in the anecdotes with Arch, which I want you to jump in on real quick. Let me finish my point on this.
Yeah.
The run's been rough, and like we said, that is an indictment on creative and not having enough opponents, not building up. Austin Theory's a guy I hope that we could get to that. Obviously, Bron Breakker's got the future. Bronson Reed, and I would think this time next year, these guys are going to be off on their own. So Logan Paul, they're calling him a full-timer now. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's just we're utilizing that now and then he's going to take another break. But regardless, I think the most exciting thing and best thing that could have happened for Cody Rhodes right now, and that's why a week like this was so important for Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, Gunther with the intrigue coming out of that. Oba Femi, where is he going to end up now that he's relinquished the NXT title? Bron Breakker, how long is he out for? What is it going to have to do with Adam Pearce? Are we going to have an authority figure have to step in for Adam Pearce? There's so many aspects. Are they going to have to do a settlement? Like, I'm thinking this, Eric, like, could they be like, you know what, Adam Pearce, you did this, but I talked to the board, and the board said, Adam Pearce, if you give Bron Breakker another world title match at Royal Rumble, then they won't suspend you. Bron doesn't get suspended. Everybody wins. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of creative things that could go down here. So I think it's a really important week for WWE. And I really think that huge for Drew. And I don't know if you heard this. My biggest issue with the Drew thing is he loses so much. Why giving a world title match to somebody who lost every big match for 2.5 to 3 years? Minus the one he won, and then he dropped it because he was a moron 7 minutes later. Why should I be excited about that? I am, because I'm a Drew fan. But if I'm a casual fan, I'll be like, this guy loses all the time. Why am I going to be excited about it? But I'm excited for him. We'll see where that goes with Mania. And I am very excited for Cody Rhodes, who needs a clean slate and a fresh start.
Yeah.
So.
Real quick on Cody and the adversity part. I think it was a few months back, it was reported that he was willing to drop the title to Drew on Saturday Night's Main Event. And I think maybe he realized that the writing was on the wall, that his reign was kind of stale. I think he is smart enough to understand when it's time for the business hat to come on, when he's been an EVP in AEW before. So he understands that business-wise, not just him individually, the right move, I guess you kind of kill two birds with one stone, where it helps him and it helps the company at the same time. So with that being said, I think it's one way to make sure that the business continues to thrive better, in that we see a change, and I think the change was needed. I think he saw that a while ago. I'm glad they finally pulled the trigger on it. And to your point about Drew,
real quick with that, I think you're right, because didn't him and Orton talk about dropping the title months ago to Drew? WWE created.
Yeah, so I think
put the kibosh on it.
Yeah, I think he knew the writing was on the wall with his title reign. He needed a change. Yeah, of course, he's not the boss, so he's going to do whatever he's told, of course. So I think knew that a change was made, and I'm glad at least finally we're able to see that come to fruition and see where this goes. I think Cody needs I don't know if he needs a break. I mean, it's hard to get a break between now and WrestleMania. It's clearly going to be somewhere in that WrestleMania picture. We just don't know where, which is great because you thought maybe he was headlining and being in the last match of the second night, but now all bets are off. You don't know what direction they're going to go, which is great. To your point about Drew with the not winning matches, we're going to bring this up a little bit later, but I have the same problem just on the other brand, and you know where I'm going with this, with next week's World Heavyweight title match. But we'll get to that in a bit.
This is an interesting idea, and I don't love it. I'm not going to lie, Dynasty. I love the outside the box thinking on this. But if Chris Jericho's return is to be the GM in place of Adam Pearce, what a disappointment.
Yeah.
That does not need to happen.
Chrome, I don't mean to burst the bubble at all. I don't think this is going any more than a week. I think next week.
No, I don't either. I think something happens where
he's getting the world title match as a result. That's going to happen.
It's what I said earlier. I think something along the lines of
my bad. I thought maybe you thought it was going to he was going to get let go, and then
no. Heyman has the leverage, right, and he can hold this over Pierce's head. So
Adam Pearce,
I talked to the board. Listen, you're actually under fire because you're the first one that put hands on him.
Adam Pearce, sir. Let me get a volley here for a second.
Yeah, I could. He could dangle.
My man, Bron Breakker.
Yeah. Hey, listen. He could drop the charges, so to speak, right? However they want to word that.
Here's the video, sir. Here's a volley.
Yeah, I'll talk to the board as long as you give Braun his rematch against Punk. All is forgiven. Everybody's happy. We all walk away and keep our jobs and keep ourselves in place. That's how I think it goes down.
Adam Pearce cracks me up. He comes off sometimes just where is he? And he's talking to the ref in the back. They kind of make him look a little silly sometimes, but this was great. I think we need to see more of that out of him. Just more aggressive.
Him yelling at Braun and the spit flying out of his mouth.
God.
I'm
sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit.
No, I like Pearce. I actually think Pearce is a tremendous authority figure. I think they both are. I think Nick Aldis is as well. I think they finally kind of found the right guys who have the right, I think, on-screen personas, and they're different enough that their managing style. I'm doing a lot of quoting today. Their managing style or air bubbles does not match.
Yeah,
they're different, and it makes the structure of how each show is run feel different. So when there is free agency, like with a Jordan Grace or a Javon Evans or an Oba Femi or any of the other talent from NXT that's going to be coming, Trick Williams, it makes it feel like a true courtship as opposed to kind of same old. You know what I mean? And we're not talking about Teddy Long and Kurt Angle different. That's totally polar opposites of everything, right? But I just think these guys can be taken seriously. We're not holla play. You're getting a match with a 6-man tag with the Undertaker. We're not doing any of that. And listen, Pierce has his slogan, his tagline of, and that is official or it's official. I just feel really good about those two characters. So I agree with you though. I like to see the intensity of it.
Going to your point about the GMs, we've seen former wrestlers or inactive wrestlers in the past, like you said. These guys, they're both former wrestlers, but neither one of them has ever wrestled for WWE. I think that's so intriguing that it kind of teases that. And I know I've heard interviews with Adam Pearce. He has no intention of ever getting back in the ring, but that you don't hear that from Nick Aldis. And I think a lot of us are hoping at some point we're gonna see Nick Aldis in a WWE ring, but
I've been dying for it. Last
year,
when this very thing was on A2D, I joined them for WrestleMania week, and when the opportunity with how the storyline had gone between him and Randy Orton I think the opportunity was there for WrestleMania. Now, I'm not complaining about what we got. I think if it was anyone other than Joe Hendry and the surprise of a TNA World Champion to show up at WrestleMania, because that was more shocking than if Nick Aldis was the opponent. So I think taking that out, I mean, I wanted that. I advocated for it, and I do. I hope. I think he deserves at least one match and maybe a WrestleMania match.
Sure. Sign up
for WWE.
It'd be cool if they were to pull the trigger. I mean, we've seen Punk and AJ Lee. We've seen
bring Mickey back. Let's go.
Bring Mickey and Nick and team them up against in a mixed tag. That'd be freaking awesome.
I mean, she did LFG season 1, so I mean, it's not like they don't have this working relationship. I know she helps out with. Is she with NWA now, or she was for a bit? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure,
but
I know she was. But I know
sure now. I know she's worked with WWE, so to have the opportunity to possibly bring her in and work with him in a mixed tag match and maybe give them that WrestleMania moment, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Really am.
Definitely.
I guess because of everything, we kind of jumped all over, so I'm just going to do that. Let's get into the ending of Monday Night Raw. Interesting ending to Monday Night Raw here. So, as we discussed, Gunther taps out, and AJ pops up. By the way, I think they make him look like a moron here. It's smart by Gunther if you think about it, right? Like that's kind of what they have, and wisely so by the commentary team to position it as what a great move by Gunther. He knew the referee couldn't see him, tapped to trick AJ to get out of it. Couldn't get out of it? How do you get out of it? Well, you tap and just make sure you're not seen doing it. But everybody knows common sense. Until the referee tells you it's over, you don't release a hold. You don't let somebody up from a pinfall. And I just, like AJ Styles is a 20-plus year veteran of professional, like 25-year veteran of professional wrestling. And this is the year he's retiring, and they made him look like a complete moron. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, Eric, then you jump in here. I didn't want this match yet. Again, great ending for the Gunther character. They are just lighting the match to the heat on this guy. And I love it for him. But again, this is at the expense of AJ, and it makes him look like an idiot. And AJ, it should have been a retirement match with Gunther, and they should have never touched hands until we got to that point.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you to an extent. I don't think this hurts AJ at all. And
because it's AJ, right?
Right, exactly. If you're going to do it to somebody, it's him.
Well, you don't think like somebody's only been watching WWE for like 2 or 3 years, which they have a lot of people who join this like on a yearly basis.
Sure.
Who he's been hurt for almost 2 years straight, who sees this guy, yeah, I hear this great legend, but then he looks like an idiot. Like, you don't think that crosses anybody's mind? I just think he deserves better.
Yeah.
I just watched some real foolishness with the Cena run, man. I don't want to see that happen to AJ.
I get it. I get what you're saying. I'll give credit, though, to the announcers. If you listen to that
they're so good
broadcast, in that moment where Cole plays it off so well, and I know I've heard different interviews. I think Jim Ross, always said like he didn't want to know what happened in the matches, so it would just come off more natural. And I'm guessing that's what happened here because Cole said something to the effect of, "AJ thinks he tapped that Gunther tapped out. I didn't see it," and then Wade comes in. It just sounded very natural and very like they didn't see a tap out because they're sitting right there. They didn't see it on the camera. They didn't see it ringside. I think it was masterfully done by the announcers. I think I give Cole and Wade a ton of credit. At least if they knew, you couldn't tell. I think it was great. As far as Gunther's concerned, I think this was a way like whether we like it or not, it was a way to protect AJ and protect Gunther. So Gunther taps out, but he doesn't lose. So I think that's kind of the thought process in this. And we talked about it last week. this match is happening so soon. We know now why, because of the finish. Clearly, we're getting another match with these two, because now AJ has a gripe where I made you tap out. He now has the up. He has, they'll view the tape next week, but you tapped out. What are you going to do about it? And now it's going to set up another match. So I think we're getting there. It wasn't what I was expecting was going to happen, but I'm all for another match between these two.
No. I didn't want it before, not this early. And now we're going to get another match.
Well,
it's like Dom and Cena, right? Again, I was cool with that match, but did we need a second match? No. This is what we're going to do now?
I think they did. I honestly think they did it this time because it was in Germany. I don't. If it was in the States, if they were touring in the States, I don't think you see this match. I think they did it for the German crowd. I don't think, and I think it's to further. Like, it was intended clearly to further the story. I mean, it was we kind of knew.
I don't give a shit about the German crowd.
You don't, but.
Nobody cares about the German crowd, a place that hasn't had a live event maybe ever. Dunkelstein or whatever the hell.
I got your back, Germans. I got your back.
And listen, I don't care. And if you're listening, I appreciate your fandom. But the short-sightedness of the opportunity you have in terms of AJ Styles putting on a classic match with this guy and furthering the legend of a Gunther off of the back of an AJ Styles, it is an absolute swing and miss. And now if it does happen, I don't care if I get it 6 months from now when AJ actually decides to step away.
Well, you're not getting it in 6 months. You're getting it in a couple weeks probably.
Right.
You're probably getting it on Saturday's main event or Royal Rumble.
I don't think he's retiring then, though, right? So, no. I don't care. Or if they extend it to WrestleMania, I don't give a shit. They lost me in it. They blew away a potential opportunity to have a great final feud and continue to build a monster.
One thing that cracks me up, Chrome, is we are now calling him the career killer. You only ended one career, so why are you calling him a career killer right now? Two? Who?
Goldberg.
Oh yeah, all right, fair enough. His career was already dead. No, I'm just kidding.
But I told you that was going to happen. Commentary positioned that at that Saturday night's main event as he was walking down the aisle away from Cena. They said this guy is becoming a career killer. I knew it, and I love it. It should be.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, now that you've re-educated me on the Goldberg. All right, career killer. We'll let it slide. Let's get the third one now.
Could have had it. They blew it.
He tapped out. Didn't you see?
Blew it.
You didn't see it?
I don't give a damn. You're an idiot.
Colin Wade didn't see it.
It ain't
I didn't see it.
Speaking of the commentary team, I have to give a nod to this because I love them. The Americanos, when they talk about El Grande Americano, I hear he's got close family in Germany. And they talk, and the way that the different Americanos do these different moves, and just it looks familiar. And the way they interact, it's not the same, but it's as close as I've heard to like Gorilla and Heenan having these like random just these humorous interactions.
Can I do a hot take real quick?
Sure.
I really don't want McAfee back full time. I think at least not at the expense of Wade Barrett. I'll say that. Maybe you put Joe Tess with McAfee. I don't know, but Cole and Wade have shown, and you said it yourself, the chemistry is that they play off each other so well, and I think that's where Cole, the veteran, the almost 30-year pro, makes these guys look like $1 million because he'll make himself look like an idiot. He don't care, and at the expense of gelling together and doing really well. But Pat, to me, I love Pat. Don't get me wrong, but I think you're starting to see, especially with Wade and Cole, a duo that complements each other so well. And Pat, for as entertaining as I love Pat. I watch Pat McAfee every day, at least a clip or two, and I want him back in a capacity. But I think there's a spot for him, but maybe it's not on Raw, maybe it's SmackDown or just PLEs or something to that effect. The dude's tired; he needs a break.
Well, so I understand what you're saying, but a couple points to follow up on that. If he's not working with Cole, I don't want him working with Cole on PLEs and taking the opportunity away from Wade.
That's a good point. Maybe you put him in.
I mean, you have a 3-man table, I
three-man.
guess. But the other aspect of it is, as good as I think he is with Cole, talking about Wade Barrett, I think he's just as tremendous with Joe Tessitore. I think the chemistry between them is fire.
Agreed.
So, I had no problem with Corey Graves being a 3-man crew with Booker T and Vic Joseph in NXT. I actually thought that made it a better, more. I love Booker T as a talent, and I loved the idea of when he comes back and I get into him for maybe 4 months, but it gets rough after a while. But I thought that adding Corey to that table added a dynamic where there was a good interaction between the three of them.
Yeah.
And I felt like he was a calming presence sometimes when Booker T goes off the deep end.
Yeah.
Which he does.
Very, very easily every few minutes. Now,
I think McAfee and Cole have an unbelievable camp. They are real life close friends.
Yeah. Maybe I'll rephrase my hot take in that I don't want McAfee's return to impact especially Wade in a negative way where it takes away from the hard work that he's put in as a color analyst. He's been fantastic and he's got nothing but better each and every week. I just think they've worked together now for several months, and then you take him out and you put McAfee back in, it kind of takes away from the hard work that Barrett is putting in. That's all. I'm not saying this to say McAfee's terrible. It's not even close. It couldn't be further from
just because I disagree with you doesn't mean you have to back off of your take. I'm not saying it's a bad one. I just view it differently, right?
You talked to me. No, I just don't want it to take away from them because I think they've done a really nice job.
I think Barrett is that community that he could work with anybody, and I think that's a credit to him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go and go back to watching old NWA Power episodes and hear him do commentary before he returned to WWE on NWA Power. Go back and watch him on NXT when he worked with Vic Joseph. He has been, unbelievable. His entire run with everybody's been I think he is arguably one of the best commentators I think WWE's had maybe ever in my lifetime. And I have said this 1,000 times and I'll say it again. I think that Jim Ross and some of his unbelievable singular big moment calls are historic and tremendous. But I'm telling you, you go back and watch a lot of the Attitude Era, it's repetition, it's rough. Him and Lawler in hindsight, when I look at the dynamic of Michael Cole and some of the people he's worked with, I go back and I look at Heenan and Monsoon. I think they're incredibly overrated. I would argue Michael Cole is the greatest commentator in the history of professional wrestling, and that's Gordon Soley.
That might be a hotter take than mine.
I would challenge anybody to tell me how that's not the case.
I will say that I wouldn't necessarily put them or Barrett ahead of them, but I think that Barrett is extremely underrated.
Well, I'm saying,
and I think Cole is extremely underrated too. In how far he has come. If you watch Cole from 97, 98, 99, and 2026, it's night and day where he's come from. Not that he was bad in 1999, but I think he's developed himself into somebody who he's the voice. He's been the voice for the last 20 some years now. He's gone longer than Jim Ross and Gorilla Monsoon and Gordon's. Like, he's gone longer than his longevity is second to none.
And he's missed 4 shows ever?
How dare him?
Like, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not saying Barrett's above certain people. I'm saying he's in that upper echelon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
I say he's underrated because I don't think everybody feels the same way that you do.
I will live and die and stand on the mountain that Michael Cole is over Jim Ross, over Monsoon, over Gordon Soley, and every other commentator that's ever walked or put a headset on behind a table or behind a booth or whatever it is for professional wrestling. Michael Cole, particularly his last 10 years of commentating, is the best 10 years any commentator has had in professional wrestling. He's also had the worst, because that 2 years where he was kissing Miz's ass and they tried to make him a heel commentator, which never had a genuine bone in it, and go after Daniel, that I'm removing that. But then we also tried to do that with JR when he bought in fake Razor and fake Diesel, and then he was on Mania.
They tried it again in '99 when he had the Bell's palsy with Dr. Death, my boy, yeah. Dr. Death.
So, I mean, he's had his moments too. But I'm telling you, and Dynasty chimes in, says just the longevity alone, he's definitely.
Oh, Lance Russell. Oh my God.
Lance Russell, I get it. Another great name. Michael Cole's the best, and I'll die on that hill. I don't even think it's close. I really don't.
It's a great debate.
It's a debate. You know what we should do, Eric? We should have. We're gonna be opening up. Hopefully, sometime. We're really gonna talk this week about what we're gonna do, because we are doing it. If we only do one, we're doing a 92 Rumble watch along in the next between now and Royal Rumble. So
will you stop?
I promise, guys. It's been a weird week.
Stop?
We had a short week because we had to do a show not on our regular night last week. We will get together, me and Eric heads together, and we will pick out our date.
Believe it or not, guys, Chrome and I work. You believe that?
Somebody's
employing me. You crazy? You kidding?
Yeah, we work, personal lives. I had a girlfriend that I like to, enjoy the moments in life and the events such as birthdays with. So it's been a real crazy holiday season, but I swear to you guys, we will do it. We are, what's he say? 103, you'd be dead? I don't even know what that means there, Dynasty. What are we talking about?
103.
Unless that's maybe like a line in commentary that I missed, that I'm picking up on probably. But yeah, I swear, next week we're going to announce when we're going to do the watch along.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have some other stuff to announce as well. Because we're going to ramp up Rumble Week and try to get a couple extra bonus shows out there.
Yeah. My anecdotes with Arch over the next couple weeks are going to be Royal Rumble centric. Some moments, some did you knows, things like that. So stay tuned.
I'm already getting a backlog of anecdotes with Arch. And don't forget, guys, just so you know, when you do want to watch that stuff, 2 things here. First of all, here's Instagram for A2D and the Lazy Booking Podcast. Make sure you guys are checking them out. We're going to throw the docs link up here too, because we love them. And make sure that you guys visit us here. This is our YouTube page where we will be dropping some exclusive content. We do weekly. We drop a couple of things, but we're going to be popping some shows coming up. And I'm working on getting some AEW coverage. We don't do it on this show, but we're going to start doing some extra 1 or 2 shows a week. Might be something I'm a part of, Eric a part of. It might not be. As far as AEW coverage goes, we want to cover it. Well, I'm not going to be the guy to do it. I just don't have the time or the interest, and Eric doesn't either. Case in point, I gotta bring this up, Eric. I gotta bring this. I brought this up to Nick today.
Okay.
I had 3 weeks of AEW to catch up on. Basically since the pay-per-view, so maybe 2 weeks.
So since MJF won the title.
Correct. Roddy Strong and Marina Shafir, 2 opposite ends. We're going to act with the Smart Mark fan base like they're not married. And then I was told, well, they did a good job at describing it on the pay-per-view. They said that even though your beliefs in the ring are different, you don't let it affect at home. And I'm like, oh, so I could go to work, beat the shit out of my wife, and it's good because our occupational beliefs are different. And you're going to believe that after I drop her on her head at work, we're going to go home and like not even talk about it. We're just going to lay in bed and be like, hey, we're good. Wake up. Hey, you want pancakes? You want to make a little sausage?
Sorry about the black eye.
Oh, yeah, here.
My bad.
Before I cook the steak, throw it on your face.
Since you're gonna cook, here's some vegetables to put on your face, and then you can put them on the pan for me.
I love Roddy Strong. I've actually
me too.
Pulling the curtain back, been trying, and we almost got him when they were here in Philadelphia, and we have an open dialogue. I would love to have him on our show one time when AEW is doing something in Philly. So fingers crossed. Hopefully we can make it happen when our schedules line up. But I'm telling you, I hate how AEW runs relationships that are real life. I hate the way they do. They just blow over Mox and Renee.
I was going to say, look at the obvious one. Yeah, those two.
So I hate how she talks about like it's like they don't communicate at home and they only communicate when it's so weird to me.
It's insulting the audience intelligence. It really is. But I just, yeah. But still.
Okay, that makes sense. I remember that. I was like, 103. What's 103? But I remember that. Yeah.
I do.
That was a good one, too.
Good stuff, Dynasty. Good call.
But yeah, listen.
TNA this week, too, right? They debut at TNA this week on AMC.
Oh, you know what? I got to set my DVR for that so I don't miss it.
Yeah, don't miss it. I think that's Thursday night. Big night. Did I see AJ Styles is going to be on there? Did I see that correctly?
You're gonna have to confirm that for us here, buddy. Dynasty, confirm where you saw that, and if that's cool for them. You know, it's a big moment for them. We are kind of low on time. We've kind of been all over the place. So I think
my apologies. My bad.
It's you, it's me. We started late. It's been a weird day. So we touched on it last week with Oba Femi. I think he's $1 million superstar waiting to happen. So we'll just ask this. As we talked about last week, he relinquished the title after defeating Leon Slater at New Year's Evil. They kind of went away from him. They did this backstage segment. They had Robert Stone come out and say, "Ava, did you see what Oba did out there, man?" And she's like, "No, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, you gotta see. He just left the title, dude." And they pan into the title sitting in the ring and kind of the crowd a little restless. So, and then they started showing promos for him this week. So where is his best fit? Because I think it's inevitable, personally, that he ends up on SmackDown. But I want to hear your thoughts. Is that where you believe he goes, and is that his best fit?
I don't know if there's a bad fit for either one. I'm just going to go the opposite, and I'll go Raw. But I don't think there's a bad fit at all. I think SmackDown is good because they need to fill the 3-hour void, the 3 hours for now. So if you're going to utilize the time in a proper way, I think SmackDown is probably the better of the two. But I wouldn't hate being on Raw either. But I wonder if he's going to be heel or babyface as well. And I think initially probably going to have him as a babyface. I don't have a preference as long as they use him, because I think you can utilize him. You can face the Vision. He could feud with Drew. He could. There's plenty to do on either brand. So I'll go Raw just because you said down. Okay. But I don't have a problem either way as long as they use them.
Yeah, Dynasty throws in here. He thinks it's going to be Raw because it seems like every other call-up has gone there. Well, Javon Evans went to SmackDown. I'm sorry, Raw.
Yeah,
So there's only been 2 male call-ups that have gone anywhere.
Then you had Jordan Grace to SmackDown, and is there another female yet?
Sol Ruka went to Raw. So they're actually kind of even now. Or maybe she didn't go to Raw, but I think they were teasing that because she's.
Yeah, I don't think that's official yet. I mean, we'll see tonight if she's all there. But
listen to me. Listen, I don't. You touched on one major point. It's a 3-hour show now, and what has been the conversation that we've had surrounding the SmackDown main event picture? There is not enough talent.
Cupboard's bare.
Rick Williams, Oba Femi, instant impact makers at the main event level. They don't need them on Raw. They have tons of talent on Raw at this point. They have tons of talent and lots of guys tied up in the programs in the main event picture. So I'm telling you right now, I don't think it's a question. They need him. They need him to go over to Raw or SmackDown. I don't even think he needs to be a heel or a face. He could work tween. He could be a guy that respects somebody but won't be afraid to get in their face. And he could be a guy that's I think he's going to challenge Drew at WrestleMania. I believe that. I wouldn't be shocked if Oba Femi wins the Royal Rumble. In fact, I am going to put it out there into the universe now. That is my hot take on January 13th that Oba Femi is going to win the Royal Rumble and challenge Drew at WrestleMania.
Okay. I think Oba Femi is going to put on a clinic at the Royal Rumble, but I don't think he's winning the Royal Rumble. I don't know who's going to win the Royal Rumble yet. So I haven't made my prediction. My prediction was Roman Reigns until yesterday, where it sounds like he's not main event. He's not. Him and Cody aren't wrestling each other. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win, but I don't think it's going to be Oba Femi. Not yet. I'm still in the Bron Breakker possibility.
I'll tell you what. Don't be surprised if we get Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania this year. It doesn't need a title.
I'm not holding my breath with Dwayne.
I'm not holding my breath, but it doesn't need a title. And that could be a route they go. Or if you get Rock and Roman finally. Again, doesn't need a title. So
I'd love to say it, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
I've given up hope on Rock.
Yeah.
He's too busy with the Golden Globes with his Smash Machine.
I saw the movie the other day.
What'd you think? I haven't seen it yet.
It's a little it's unconventional in the way that it's shot but I will say he's great in it. And Emily Blunt, she's great in it too. I could see why they're nominated. I've actually really, really enjoyed it. And I think if you come from a movie, and I know a little bit about him, but when you come out of a movie and you find yourself starting to hit Wikipedia and going down the rabbit hole to know more and more and more about it, I think that's a good sign. Definitely. I think it's really well done. I love A24 movies. I think they do a really good job at being a little bit different than most studios. So I suggest going to see it. Good for him. I'm not hating on him for that.
No.
I know you're not. I'm just saying in general. I am not hating on him for that. I think there's a very strong possibility we might get him in WrestleMania.
I'll be watching.
I'll be watching season 2, right? Because aren't the Oscars in March?
Yes, I believe so.
Just in time. You may have Academy Award winner Dwayne Johnson. Hey,
we'll never hear the end of it with him. He'll come out with the People's title and the Academy Award in the other hand.
Oh my God, it'd be the greatest thing ever. It really would. There we go. Dynasty says no Rock. Roman is absolutely in Saudi.
I mean,
guess what? We'll see how it develops. Saudi might not happen.
He's talking about WrestleMania.
Okay.
He's talking about WrestleMania 43 because I saw I know what he's talking about. Supposedly, there's a deal on the table for him to be at WrestleMania in Saudi.
Oh my God, He could buy a country with what they're going to offer for him to show up at WrestleMania in Saudi.
Yeah. I mean, if he's in any shape, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But I think there's that story's still there. I mean, it's there, it's on the shelf, and all they gotta do is pull it off the shelf, and it's right back. And it was some of the most compelling television we've had in the last decade.
Rock and Roman will always be an option as long as both guys are physically able to get into the ring. Great show today, buddy. Again, guys, thanks for bearing with us.
Yeah.
Craziest show we've ever had in terms of audio issues. So I've never
a lot, pal.
And goddamn, I'm coming up on 9 years with A2D at some point later in this year, coming up on 10 years, doing this podcast in February of this year. And we've had some issues sometimes with stuff. One time we had a blackout in the middle. Oh, wait, here's a good one for you. And you can only find this show in the Lazy Booking archive because it was on Facebook, never made it to YouTube. And so I had actually had to rip it off of Facebook. And now Facebook deletes old videos.
I noticed videos. That.
So I'm glad I did this because the video would have been gone forever. But we did a Tito Santana interview during the holidays in 2018, maybe. I want to say it was 2018 or 17. 17 or 18. It was 18. In the middle of the show, blackout, lose power.
Oh, no.
I got a text Tito. Hey, man, sorry, bud, we lost the power. He's like, oh, what, he said, I can wait a little bit for you. It did come on after 5 minutes. We were able to get up, but then we had to load everything, get back on. He was very patient with us. Appreciate him. Everybody knows my feud with Tito from back in the day. I did challenge him to a WrestleMania match. He's a great guy, though. Not my favorite wrestler. We're just going to put it
Arriba.
Great guy, not my favorite wrestler. But that was probably one of the worst situations we had. Mm-hmm. And then we had to go on and we did 2 segments with him. Thank God he waited. But that was pretty bad. But other than that, I think we really ever had too bad of an issue, especially because, if one of us goes out, Eric, the other guy's got to carry the torch. So
I thought I was carrying the torch, and meanwhile, he had it the whole time. He's like, gotcha.
No, wow. You did a great job. It was your first time having something like that. I just hope I didn't say anything to because I was cursing. I'm like, God damn. I didn't pick up thinking my mic wasn't working, but nobody told me that. Nobody told me I said anything I shouldn't have. So, anyway, fun stuff. Next week, we promise. Our week's a little bit slower-ish. We'll put our heads together.
Yeah, I'll check my stuff before we log in.
We're going to get our next 2 weeks together for Rumble and announce some content coming up. Oh, the Larry Zbyszko interview. Oh, that was a good one, too. I'll tell you what, Dynasty. Eventually, we're going to repost those shows, but I believe I have it saved on a list somewhere. So if you're asking because that's something you're interested in seeing, I can make a playlist with those interviews only, where you can go back and really see any of the interviews that we've done. I'm eventually going to post them totally to our page in case, just to have a backup. I like to have an archive of things like that because they are special. We have Kevin Sullivan, Psycho Sid Vicious. So there's been people who unfortunately aren't with us anymore that we were able to share time with. So I always like to have a backup just in case. But if you're asking because you want to see some of these and maybe you didn't get a chance to, I will put them on a playlist. The Zbyszko interview was great. Eric, I wish you were mentioned in that, Eric, in that interview.
Was I?
Well, because we talked about WCW Nitro with the NWO and the brawl in the back. And I told him,
bats and cowards.
I told him you always do impersonations of them. So I got a buddy, Eric, who now everybody sees all these years later. I was talking about. I said, I got buddy Eric, and he always does a great Larry Bisco impression. And I say, or Larry Zabisco impression. And I said, even from that night, he'll say, he threw him like a dart.
Like a dart. They got baseball bats. Cowards.
Which is hilarious.
The New World Order.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I'll put them on a playlist
Now I
this
got to
week.
check it out.
I will. I'll put them on our playlist this week under the Lazy Booking. On the Lazy Booking Podcast TV page. And it'll be all the A2D broadcasts. So when you click into them, you're showing love to A2D as well. You're visiting our page and showing love to them. So that works. Definitely was my personal favorite, especially after Shamrock. I showed my buddy's show that night. Well, listen, we had Shamrock, and Shamrock was, I mean, I listen, we've had great guests. I'm going to say to this day, Ken Shamrock was the greatest guest we ever had. 80 minutes of unpredictability, raw honesty, and hilarity. And to this day, even guys who aren't wrestling guys say it, the single greatest promo / line we got, 110%. You see it in the intro in A2D history. It's iconic to this day. I got to get T-shirts made with that. It is so good. But we appreciate you guys. We love you guys.
Thanks, guys.
This was a blast.
Appreciate patience with our audio issues, but yeah.
And we're going to hopefully lock in our guests that we're supposed to have tonight for 2 weeks from tonight. And if we can, that would be a daytime show. FYI, that week would probably be like an afternoon 1 p.m. show. So if there's any programming changes, we'll let you know next week. Otherwise, regular-ish time as usual. 6:30 usually is our start time. But for myself, for Eric, for everybody out there, Eric, great show this week. Thanks for picking up the slack when we had some stuff going on here. And,
no worries. We a team, and really excited for what's to come over the next couple weeks. It's gonna be awesome. And then after the Rumble, it's WrestleMania. Let's do it. Let's go.
Listen, we're gonna be locking in, doing a lot of fun stuff. That one, I'm telling you, either 8 or 9 we'll pick. Maybe we'll do both. Watch alongs. 9 is, I say this all the time, it's one of my, I don't know if the quality of it is great, but when I was a kid, WrestleMania
Guilty
9
pleasure, man.
It was my favorite It still sits in my heart as one of my top 3 or 4 WrestleManias, but we'll revisit that. For myself, for Eric, everybody here at A2D, guys, stay tuned.
Flyers.
Come back, 9 p.m. Flyers Talk A2D with the best hockey show you'll find, with the best hockey talk you'll find, the best Flyers talk you'll find. And I'm telling you, Flyers have been looking good lately too. So
like that fight last night, I know you saw the brawl, the Tampa.
They've had a couple of games lately where it seems like Saturday night, we were out, and it was like every time we looked up on the screen, the Flyers were in a fight. Anyway,
love it.
It's fun stuff, and these guys are the best. You got Pove, you got Maddie, you got Dale's over there. We love them. Make sure you check them out. Check out all the programming here on A2D. You got A2D Wednesday night tomorrow. You got After the Whistle, or I'm terrible with these names on shows anymore. After the Final Whistle.
Film Don't Lie.
Film Don't Lie. Eagles Talk A2D, which is a miserable thing to talk about, but sometimes it's nice to have somebody to talk to. So you come back and you talk to our guys at A2D, get it all out. It's therapeutic. Just lots of good stuff here at A2D Radio. So anyway, I'm rambling. I'm tired. I'm hungry. We're going to do all that. Here it is. We'll end it on this phenomenal comment. It's the most underrated man. I'll tell you what it is. Eric, you agree with me. And you just watched this one back recently. It is arguably the greatest commentated WrestleMania of all time. And it's iconic simply because it's Monsoon and Heenan's last WrestleMania together.
At least I can say for the fat guy sitting there, what? More to come.
The one-liners. That's Dynasty, you better tune in if we do a full watch along for that. All right, we're out of here. For myself, for Eric, and everybody here, Tom Arnone, we love you guys. As Andy always says, grab somebody, tell them you love them.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
We out.
10-9-8. Fuck go birds. 10-9-8. Oh my God, I can't even get this to end, Eric.
It's a never-ending show. See ya.
All right, no, we really out. Deuces.